Hi guys, it's Cindy, aka Disney Queen. Welcome to 2019. Happy New Year. I promised that after the Christmas season was over and I was done with 12 days of Christmas that I was going to go back to my planning series, which is in preparation for hopefully a trip in November of 2019. In case you're new to my channel, the members of my family that will be going are actually just my husband and myself and my youngest daughter. In 2017, my husband, myself, and my oldest daughter went to Disney together in August. And since that time, we've decided that because of some health issues with my husband, that we will not be doing Disney when it's really, really hot. So I am praying that November is going to be a lot cooler. I love the August trip. Don't get me wrong, it was really great. We hadn't been, I think, in 5 years and before that trip, and so a lot of new things had come into the parks, so we were excited about that. But the heat was crazy. Like, it was hot. And I've been all times of the year, so I'm used to the weather changing. I've been at Christmas time quite a few times. I've been in the spring for a flowering garden. I've been in June, July, and I've been in August before. But for some reason, this past trip, it was just like, it just seemed like it was hotter than usual. And so getting around the parks just seemed to just wear us out. So our goal is to do November, and so I started a planning series to kind of share my planner that I have, and I don't even have my planner in my hand. Hold on. Okay, this is my 2019, I can't believe I'm actually saying that, my 2019 Disney planner, and I will put links below to some of my other series that I've already done, which included which resort we were staying at, that we booked, and our dining plans. Some of that's going to change as we get closer to the trip, and so I will update you when that happens. Well, anyway, today I decided I would talk about transportation. I have a few friends that are going to Disney for the first time. Hi, Nicole, if you're watching this video. And some people don't know about the transportation options that are at Disney when you get to go. And so I thought I would just do like a brief video kind of explaining some of the transportation system. I've seen charts and things about the transportation system, and sometimes that can be overwhelming. And so I'm just going to do little tidbits to kind of help you kind of understand what's available to you, especially if you stay at a Disney resort property. So there are several ways that you can use the transportation system at Disney. If you fly into Disney, you are able to use their Magical Express from the airport. Just have to make arrangements in advance and let them know that you're going to be staying on property, and they will transport you from the airport to your resort. So that is one form of transportation, and it's important that you know that. And they will basically take your luggage from the plane to the bus, and then to your hotel room. But again, those arrangements have to be made in advance, and I will put links in below that will give you more detailed information about how to go about doing that, because I'm trying to keep my videos in 2019 just a tad bit shorter. So, but I will provide where you can get more information on that. But once you get to your resort, there are several options for transportation. That includes a bus. If one of the all-star resorts, which we are staying at, you can take the bus to the parks. you can take a bus to Disney Springs. Now, the only thing about that is you cannot take a bus to other resorts. And so that's important to know, because if you make reservations at a Disney resort and you want to get there, I would say your best option, if you're not driving yourself, is to get a Lyft. And speaking of Lyft, there is a new service available. I think they've had it over a year now, because they actually had them when we were there in 2017, but the prices for them have changed a bit. But you can get a minivan, as in a Disney mini, as in Minnie Mouse van, to various locations around Disney. I'm not sure that it's available at every hotel that you can stay at. I believe there are select hotels that you can pick it up. And so if you can't get the minivan service, which is basically, it's a minivan that is painted to look like Minnie Mouse, and it's actually red, and it's red with white dots. You can make arrangements through Lyft to get that. You can also, if you are staying at one of the monorail resorts, which include Contemporary Resort, include the Grand Floridian, which is my favorite resort, and the Contemporary, Grand Floridian, and why is it not coming to me what the next one is? Contemporary, Grand Floridian, oh, and Apollo, my other favorite place to go to. You can take the monorail to Magic Kingdom. Or you can take the monorail to Epcot. Now, if you're going there by car, you will have to park, and then go to the Ticket and Transportation Center. We call it TTC. And you can catch a boat to Magic Kingdom, or you can take the monorail and go to Magic Kingdom, or you can even take the Ticket and Transportation Center to Epcot. Now, one of the things that everyone's excited about that's coming in the fall is the gondola system. And I don't really know a lot of details about the gondola system. They're still building it. As a matter of fact, when we were there, they had just started putting up like the post for the track for it to go across. I'll have to say, I'm not that excited about the gondola system, not because of some of the things that everybody's been kind of like iffy about. I just don't like the idea of swinging in the air that high up. But if you've skied before, or taken a gondola, in the air to do, I know at ski resorts they have the gondolas. I'm sure there are other places they have them, but I don't really know a lot about them. So that is something new that's coming. And if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be available if you are at, it's either the Art of Animation Resort or the Pops Century Resort, and also the Caribbean Beach Resort. And that will take you to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. And so that is a new way that you can use transportation. All of these transportation systems are free to you, although you probably pay for it in some kind of way when you are staying on property. But now, if you are a guest at one of the parks, then you can use those transportation systems too. So that's something that you need to know. If you're staying off property, there are ways to get to the park. A lot of hotels do provide buses that will take you to the park, and then once you're at the park, then you can use those Disney transportation systems to get around. Now, another transportation system, or another way of transportation at the Disney parks, is once you get to Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, well, actually all four parks, once you get there, depending on where you're parked, if you're driving to the parks, whether you rent a car from the airport or whether you even drive yourself, which is what we've always done in the past. Once you get into the park, depending on where you're parked, you can catch a tram that will take you to the park, so you don't have to walk. Parking lot to the park entrance itself, because it's a huge parking lot. All of the parks have huge parking lots. Now, there is parking for people with disabilities, and there is valet parking available. You pay for the valet parking. The disability parking, I believe all you need is your sticker on your car or on your license plate, and you can they will direct you once you get into the parking area as to where you can go park. Another form of transportation at Disney is their friendship boats, which I love. The friendship boats. There are friendship boats at Epcot. If you go through their back gate, which is it's called the International Gateway, which is also where the new where the new gondolas will be coming into. You can go through that back gate at Epcot and get on a friendship boat, and it will take you to the boardwalk resorts. Which is another thing that we love to do. Or it will take you to Hollywood Studios by the boat. There is also a boat that goes from one end of Future World to the area of Epcot where you see all the different lands. I've never actually done that boat before, but I'm thinking maybe this trip we might try it out just for the fun of it. And you can also take boats from Magic Kingdom to the monorail resorts and to Wilderness Lodge, and I think you can take it to Fort Wilderness too. You can catch a friendship boat. I'm trying to think, is there any other boats? Now, off the top of my head, I can't think of one, but I'm going to leave all of that information below too. And I'm going to direct you to my two favorite places that I get planning information for Disney. I think I've covered buses and boats and monorails and gondolas and the minivan service. I'm trying to think, is there anything? Oh, yes. Okay. Last year, I think it was the fall of last year, Disney made one major change to I consider a part of their transportation system. Before 2018, you could stay at a Disney resort, and if you drove, you did not have to pay a fee to park at the resort that you stayed at. That changed last year, and so now there is an actual fee for parking per day. And there are a lot of resorts that do that. Disney didn't do it for the longest time, and I'll just be honest, I wish they still didn't do it, but they do. And so that's something you need to know when you book, is that there is going to be a fee charged to your room, and I believe it comes out on the last day that you're there. And so I wrote down what those fees were. Okay. At the value resorts, which is where we are staying, you would pay $13 a day for parking. At the moderate resorts, you would pay $19 a day for parking. And at the deluxe resorts, you're going to pay $25 a day for parking. So it's important when you're doing your budget that you are aware of those costs. The exceptions to this, if I'm not mistaken, are if you are a DVC member, which is Vacation Club, if you don't know what DVC is. And also if you are staying at the campsites at Fort Wilderness Resorts. Now don't hold me to that, because that could have changed since I got my information, or if you watch this video later on, it could change, because prices change all the time at Disney. That's just why it's one of the reasons why it's important to plan ahead for things and check before you leave. If you use a travel agent, they will more than likely tell you that when you're booking your resort, or if they're like my travel agent, she usually gives me a sheet of information before I leave for my trip to just update me with new things that are going on, or any changes that have been made since I originally made my reservation. So that is something to keep in mind. At the time that I am filming, daily parking at the parks, if you're not staying on property, is $25 a day. Now, this will tell you how much the price has changed. When our first trip to Disney in 1998, the parking fee was $12.50 a day. But if you're staying on property, it was no cost to you. Now, that doesn't apply in a lot of ways anymore, because you now pay that parking fee for staying at the resorts if you're driving yourself, but you won't pay an additional fee once you get to the park. So you'll pay for your parking, but you won't pay an additional parking fee at the parks, if that makes any sense. Okay, I think, there is something called preferred parking, which is $50 per day. And the other thing to note about your parking at the parks is, once you have parked at a particular park, and let's say you have a park hopper and you go to another park that day, you will they won't charge you again for a different park. So that's important for you to know as well. Standard parking for cars and motorcycles is $25. Shuttles, limos, and trailers or RVs is $30 per park day, and bus, tractor trailer, or campers is $30 per day. I hope that information helped you. Sometimes when you're planning a Disney vacation, it can be overwhelming, and so I'm hoping that some of the tips that I give you in bite size, breaking it down into different sections, will help you with the planning. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Like I said, I will put some links below to places that will give you very, very specific information about planning your videos, planning your trip. So I hope that this was helpful to someone. I'm looking forward to finishing up this series, and my plan is to try to finish it during the month of January. And so what I had said is I was going to do a video every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm going to try my best to stick to that. There will be times where it may not be twice a week. It may just be once a week, depending on if I have information to share. So my next video is going to be talking about my priorities when we go to each park. So I'm going to start with Magic Kingdom, I'm going to do Epcot, and I'm going to do Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, and I'm going to do Disney Springs. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? And until I see you the next time, have a blessed day.